Welcome to the InHer Circle podcast with MsHoliness, bringing you a dose of inspiration from the ground to greatness, starting now. Welcome, people of purpose. This is the InHer Circle podcast, episode 7, entitled After the Love is Gone. Yes, after the love is gone. I am MsHoliness, and I am so happy that you decided to tune in with me for a dose of inspiration. But before we get started, I want to do a recap of last week's episode. So on last week's episode, I talked about watch me work. Yes, the concept was let people watch you work, okay? It's kind of like no matter who's not liking or supporting your brand, no matter what the naysayers are saying, continue to let them watch you work in the spirit of excellence and watch you get it done so that they can see all of the dreams and the vision come to fruition in a more excellent way, regardless of the lack of support that they gave to you or regardless of the negative energy that they threw down in your path. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? So let's get into it. As I forestated, today's episode is entitled, After the Love is Gone. Yes, you heard me. After the love is gone. Now, I know you probably all are thinking that this is an episode about love. But no, it's actually the opposite. This is an episode about losing the love for your passions. Losing the love for what it is that you used to love to do. Because seemingly you have encountered some circumstances that have drained you dry and you are no longer passionate about your passion. And you are no longer in love with your passion. There are some things that you have came upon in life that has caused you to say, look, I don't want to do this no more. So after the love is gone, after the love is gone, how do you reignite the passion for what you love? So for instance, let's say if you speak, if you coach, if you write, if you counsel, if you're a business professional, if you're an athlete, if you're a teacher, no matter what you are, what do you do when you no longer love what you do? Like, what do you do when it becomes taxing because of all of the other problems that are occurring in your life? You reignite the passion. It's kind of like what I told you guys about what you do with the dream deferred, okay? You bring it to life. You cause it to live again. It's the same thing with your love, with your passion. You reignite it and you cause it to live again. You get excited about it again. You find that feeling. You find the center. You go back to the center to when you first fell in love with your passion. There was a time when your passions drove you, okay? Because with all people of purpose, there's that time, that initial process where our passions are our driving forces. We think about them day and night, night and day. We can't get them off our minds. But then seemingly some stuff happens while you're pursuing purpose, okay? Some things may not go the way that you thought they would go. You may not be getting the support that you garner. You may have people talking against the dream or the vision. You may have people, like telling you that you can't do it. It's impossible. Just give it up. And though those words should be falling on deaf ears, sometimes they in fact hit their marks. So what do we do when they hit their marks? We search deep within, okay? We introspect. We look within and we find the love, you guys. We look at what made us fall in love with our passions in the first place. We look at why we got started essentially in the first place. We find that spark again and we begin to ignite the vision. We begin to ignite the dream and we begin to make it possible all over again. And I know some of you are probably saying easier said than done. And we are in fact going to talk about that as soon as we come back from this commercial break. So we're going to just take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. And now a word from our sponsors. Nerd Boy Rich Clothing for your hottest urban streetwear. MHW Creations, servicing all your literary needs. And Ace the Weave Doctor, hair extensions done right.
for sponsorship opportunities, inquire within. And now back to the program.
So yes, that was a word from our sponsors, people. And I am here again talking about finding the love after the love is gone. So, as I forestated before the commercial break, I know some of you are probably weighing in saying easier said than done, okay? Some of you have faced some pretty hard times amid the pandemic, okay? Your business may have bellied under. Your job may have closed up for space for a season. Your customers may have dwindled off, okay? You may have not been able to find the investors that you needed. Some people of purpose were blessed enough to be able to ascertain funding, and they didn't miss a beat where their dreams, visions, and goals were concerned. But for those of you who weren't able to ascertain funding and you did miss a beat, and now you're just really not into it, okay? That flame essentially has gone out where passion and purpose is concerned. And what I'm suggesting here today is for you to reignite it and find the love again after the love has gone for your passion. And I know you say that it's kind of far-fetched, it's kind of far out there considering the circumstances, but all things considered, you have to remember why you got started in the first place. You have to remember what drove you in the first place, your driving force. You have to get back to that, and you, in fact, have to make the dream possible. You have to see the vision through so that it all can come to fruition. And it's not just for you. It's for someone else. See, so a lot of times the people of purpose may not understand is that the vision that you have is not just for you and your family and your friends, but it's broader. There are people out there who need what you have to offer. There are people out there waiting on you. They're waiting on your gifts. They're waiting on your talents. They're waiting on your products. They're waiting on your voice. All right. They're waiting for what you have to add to the marketplace as a person of purpose. So don't you dare give up. Don't you dare throw in the towel. Don't you dare allow your fire to go out. Reignite the flame and allow it to burn. Okay. Reignite the flame and allow it to set you on fire where your passion and purpose is concerned so that you can go out here and win the day in an excellent way. And I know that you will because I have confidence in you. I have so much confidence in you that when you leave off of this episode today, you're going to go back to the drawing board and begin to put everything into perspective. You are. You're going to give yourself that reminder, this is what I came for. And after you do that, you're going to go out here and endeavor. You know what I mean? You're going to give it your best try. You're going to endeavor to give it all you got and put your all into it again. This is your second wind. Okay? You're getting your second wind. And in this season, with the dream, with the goal, and with the vision, you're going to win. You're going to win. So with that being said, we're going to segue over into today's hot button topic. And we're still dealing with love after the love is or has gone. So I'm just going to play a little bit of this Brian McKnight song entitled After the Love. For those of you who may be too young to know this song, this was like a pretty hot song back in the 90s. And it's going to tie into today's hot button topic. So just enjoy it for a space, and then we're going to get right into it.
And now there's nothing left to say. Ever since you went away, I've been yearning for you deep inside. I can't believe that it's over. In my arms is where you belong. When I think about the love we shared, how did we go wrong? And how can I go on? Can I go? Sometimes
So, yes, it is so hard to carry on after the love is gone. I just wanted to cut in. I just wanted you all to hear a snippet of that song, okay? To tie it in, like I said, into today's hot button topic. So, you guys, I always tell you to feel free to text the InHer Circle podcast at the number that's always provided at the end of the show. Keyword, the InHer Circle Live. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? And likewise, I always extend the invitation for you to be able to email the InHer Circle podcast at the end. So today, when you leave off the show, if you weren't privy to that before, listen out for the number to text and also listen out for the email address so that you can submit your questions, because today's hot button topic is based off of a question that I received. All right. So I thought that after the love is gone, after the love is gone and has gone, was fitting for today's hot button topic, because I just wanted to kind of like tie it in with today's theme for the episode. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? So I recently got a question from a male. Okay, so let's clap on that, because the males are coming through with the questions. Go males. All my men out there, shout out to y'all. So ladies, y'all better catch up. Send y'all questions in. So I kind of got an advice question from a male asking me how should they handle this breakup that they recently had. All right. So they were caught cheating during COVID. I know, boo. Caught cheating during COVID, and they kind of lost the love of their life. Like somebody they really loved, had been with for a long time, and they said they kind of just slipped up. So my best advice for that person, because they said that they are really going through it emotionally, I told them that they needed to introspect, okay? Kind of like the same advice I just gave you when it comes to the love dying for your passion, for your purpose. I kind of advised them and told them that they needed to do some introspection. They needed to dig deep within and figure out what it was that made them step out on the love of their life, on their lady in the first place, and cheat with what I refer to as a slide. Now, you guys, I respect women because I'm a woman. But the only reason why I'm calling this lady a slide is because she was privy to the fact that this man, like she knew, she had knowledge of the fact that this man had a woman, a whole woman and some kids. And I believe in Girl Code 101. So with Girl Code 101, you don't step on another woman's shoes, okay? You don't step on another woman's shoes if you are a respectable, commendable woman and you know that a man has a girlfriend, a fiance, or a wife. And don't get me wrong, when I was younger, I used to say boyfriend, girlfriend, that's anybody's game. Like anybody can step in. But as I've gotten older, my vantage has changed, because I realized that even a boyfriend and girlfriend can have a level of love between them that is unmatched, a bond that is unbreakable, and that when that bond is violated, it could hurt that person to a great degree. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? So my perspective essentially has changed over the years. So what I say about Girl Code 101 is, if you know that someone is in a relationship, engaged or married, absolutely do not interject, which means don't put yourself in a position to be that person's slide. Don't just be sliding around town with them being their little secret. All right. Because it's damaging and it's injurious, because what it does is when the other party, the innocent, I call it the innocent party, the party who is not privy to the illicit affair, when they find out, it's injurious, it hurts. You guys all saw me fall apart on New Year's Eve 2019 as a result of experiencing something similar, okay? And I was in love, okay? And I was none the wiser to the fact that the person that I was madly in love with, and who said they was madly in love with me, had someone else who they were taking as equally as seriously in my mind at the time. Even though when they came back, they rectified things and told me things weren't what they appeared. And I took their word at face value, because I went and searched for proof and evidence, all right? And essentially, we still ended up breaking up. I had to release them because they weren't willing to honor me as the woman of God and do the right thing, like Spike Lee. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? And that's a whole entire story for a different day. But As a woman of my caliber, I have a standard. And I just don't believe that you should be sleeping with another woman's man. I don't believe, and this is knowingly, this is not nobody that's like in the dark, in the blind, because I've been that person too. I've dated a man where I absolutely had no knowledge, no foreknowledge, like any knowledge at all, that he had a woman at home. Like he had a whole separate house. And this is when I was a younger woman. I was about 17. Because I've always believed in girl code. He had a whole separate house, you guys, that I would spend a night with him at. And it was homey. Like I can go there, cook, I can have stuff there. And we were like together almost every day. But come to find out, this woman worked overnight, so it was just easy. It was easy for him to slide. So he was the slide in that instance. But when I found out about the circumstances, I immediately pulled myself out of that relationship, like immediately. Because my grandmother raised me in a certain light. And I just really, really, really hate cheaters. You hear what I'm saying to you? Like, I hate cheating. I do. I hate for a man to step out on a woman who is being faithful to him. And likewise, I hate for a woman to step out on a man who is being faithful to her. Like something about that burns me up. So my advice to this guy, and you guys, I tried to be fair. I tried to be impartial. I try to look at things from both sides and kind of play devil's advocate to a degree. After he got into detail about what kind of made him step out, I was like, still like kind of that, Now, though I believe that people should be married who are cohabitating and sleeping together, I understand that that's not the way of the world, okay? It's 2021, and though I'm not going to do it, some people are living together and they're not married. Some people are sleeping together, having sex, and they're not married. I've done that. I've been guilty of that. But essentially, that's not ideal, okay? That's not the way things are to be done. But they've been being done that way since the beginning of time, and it's only gotten worse with time. So, they cohabitated, which means they lived together, unmarried, with children. They created their own kind of family, their nuclear family together. And from what he told me, she wasn't putting out anymore. And putting out just means having sex, all right? Now, I said, there were a few things that could have been going on. She could have been experiencing female problems, She could have been fatigued, after dealing with the children, too tired. Or she could have just suspected that something was going on with him. Because what he did tell me is that he is a man who has female friends. And, as women, we have intuition. So he's saying he had not started sleeping with the female yet before she started acting funny with him. But I said maybe he was already entertaining the female. So I went on to probe, That's the social worker in me. So I'm like, okay, well, you got these female friends. Was this particular female one of your female friends? He's like, yeah. I'm like, was y'all already hanging out? He said, yeah, I knew her for years. And I'm like, okay, so clearly there was some attraction there in that friendship for a while. He says, yeah. He said, and we finally just decided to act on it. He said, we threw back a few drinks. We were feeling good, and it just happened. And of course, I've heard of instances like that. And of course, it don't make it right. Because at the core things, if your lady is not giving you leg, sex, if she's not sleeping with you, find out why. If she got an attitude and she really don't want to talk, sweet talk her. Break down those barriers. Bring home a gift. Do something to get in her psyche. Like, figure it out, guys. Figure it out before you go out here and sleep with these quote unquote friends that you got. And I think that was really sad too, that he said, oh, it was one of my friends. No, that was one of your freaks you've been waiting to sleep with. And I said that to him too. Y'all know that I'm like really blunt. Like, no, that was a freak that you've been waiting to sleep with. You just needed to get up the nerve, okay? You needed to get ballsy about things so that you can kind of, go for it. So even though I probed and asked those questions, I was empathetic to his plight too at the same time, because I am a hopeless romantic and I believe in love. And I told him to fight for his love, okay? Okay, I did it. I don't believe that cheating is the tell-all, be-all. I really don't. People make mistakes. And in my mind, cheating is a mistake if it happens once. Now, I'm not talking about no repeat offenders that's just out here cheating willy-nilly, here, there, and everywhere. or that got side chicks hidden in different states here, there, everywhere, or having polygamous relationships secretly. Like you might think that you're in a monogamous relationship with somebody, and here they're practicing polygamy all around you. That happens too. I got a story for that, but I'm not going to tell it on today. I'll hit you guys with that on another episode where I may just talk about polygamy. All right. So yeah, but that happens too. I'm not talking about situations like that though. But I do believe in love, and I do believe that if somebody cheats once, that there is a space to work it out if they're genuinely sorry. And that's with any mistake in a relationship. If a person is genuinely sorry and they show you, not just tell you like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I ain't gonna never do it again. If they show you through proving, like improving the behaviors, like cutting off the friend that they might have slept with. You hear what I'm saying to you? So essentially I told him he needs to be willing to put the work in and to fight for his love. And I'm really hoping that things work out, because from what he told me, they got 2 beautiful children and they've been together for about 7 or 8 years. That's a long time. All right. I know some marriages that don't even hold tight like glue for 7 or 8 years. So I feel like it's worth fighting for, in my opinion. And I'm hoping that essentially he's able to do the necessary work and look internally, like do introspection, look internally, and figure out, aside from her not wanting to have sex, what else was the driving force? Because it wasn't just that. Because a simple conversation could have remedied that. All right. So it was a little bit more. It was something else going on. I think that this was just a friend. And we didn't touch on this, but this is just my belief. I feel like this was just a friend that he always probably wanted to see what was up with. You know how you guys are. You'll have a female that you got the hots for, and your friend put her in that little friend space. I'm not going to call it a friend zone. You'll put her in that little friend space, and make her comfortable so that way you can put the moves on her. You're going to put them on her like wham. I think he was attracted to this friend in the sense that he wanted to sleep with her. He wanted to have sex with her. I don't think that he wanted to wife her, but I just think that he wanted to try her out, which he did. He succeeded. But in him succeeding, he quite possibly has ruined a lifetime of love, which I hope is not the case. I hope it's fixable. So my advice for him and for any male or female that messes up something so good is to go after it with everything in you and fight for love. All right? Fight for love, seemingly even if it appears that the love is gone or has gone. Go and try to reignite that flame, that passion, and bring it back to life if it's worth saving and worth fighting for. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Well, that concludes our talk for today. Thank you for joining me for episode 7 of the InHer Circle podcast, entitled After the Love is Gone. With questions and comments, text 484-393-2730, keyword the InHer Circle Live. To connect with the InHer Circle, follow us on Twitter at the InHer Circle _, on Instagram at the InHer Circle _podcast, and on Facebook at the InHer Circle podcast. For sponsorship opportunities, email us at inhercirclepodcast@gmail.com. Well, this is MsHoliness signing out. I look forward to you joining me for the next episode, where I aspire to lift you higher.